You'd have content all over the paper here.
Absolutely. Well, I went ahead and started recording our session today, so I'll send that to you after we get off our call again. Did you get the one that I sent yesterday?
I did, thank you. Yes, and I told her about it, and when she gets 3 minutes to do something, she'll be sure to read it or listen to it.
Absolutely. Wonderful. That sounds great. Okay. So, so to start off, I'm just going to go through how we can create a menu bar on the member-click side of things. And I wish we had your design, so it would be just plugging into your design, but that's okay. We can, we'll be able to look at everything once my designers are done with their stuff on their end. So we're going to create this menu bar across here. I'm going to show you how to edit the stuff on your front page. It's going to look a little bit different than this, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how we can edit the stuff on this front page here, and then also how we can create new content as well. So in order to do that, we're just going to be focusing underneath our website tab today. Let me go back to my home page. And so to add an external link, all I have to do is go to menu items. And this will take me to the 4 different menus that you'll have. The main menu is anything associated with this area here, right?
Where I don't. Oh, where's your? Move your cursor so I can see what you're talking about.
Uh-oh, can you see it or no?
I see your cursor, but I can't see it moving.
Huh, I wonder if it's frozen on us.
I get that sometimes on my PC, so don't feel bad.
Gotcha. No, sometimes it gets stuck. Is it moving now or still no?
No, the pictures there on the slider are changing, but your cursor is still sitting still.
That is bizarre.
Okay, but now I can see you doing the pull down, but the arrow is still in the same place it was. How are you doing this?
I don't know. Well, it's the main menu is, that makes me upset. I hope that it's not normally like that. The main menu is this blue strip that you see right underneath the images that are popping up. So this is the main menu. You'll also have a social network menu, and so the social network menu are these like social network icons down here at the bottom. Facebook, Twitter.
Yep.
And then you'll have a member menu, and to show you the member menu, I'm going to bring up our MemberClicks example site. So that's going to be how your members are greeted once they've logged in. And it'll have like a little name tag that'll data merge information from their profile into it. So they'll be greeted with specific information to them, like their name, their member type, or their what kind of subscriber they are. So it'll look like this.
Okay.
But it'll data merge their info in, like their name, their organization kind of thing.
Okay.
So the member menu is going to be this menu underneath the name tag that you see. So we can edit all 3 of these menus.
Okay. I realize that looking at it, your logo and ours have a little bit of similarity.
Oh, they do. They do have a lot of similarity. What do you know what your logo is representative of?
It's just the different elements of the community, bringing little people. Yeah, Michelle developed.
That is so interesting. That is exactly like what ours is supposed to represent. That is so crazy.
That means you can buy me out for $1 billion.
I'll pass the word along.
Thank you. Oh, yes.
That's awesome. So going back to what we were doing, I want to right now create your menu. I'm just going to create it the exact same, and I'm going to plug it into your existing site. So to do that, I want to create the main menu. That's what I'm going to be working in. So that's what I'm going to choose. So far I've gone to website, menu items, and now I'm going to go into main menu.
So is this all happening in WordPress or something? Is that what the language is that you're using?
I know it's a Joomla-based system.
What?
Joomla-based, if you're familiar with Joomla, but I don't. Yeah.
No.
So it's not WordPress. It's different.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So to create a new menu item, I'm just going to select new in the top right-hand corner, and you can do all of these things that I'm doing. You're going to be able to get in here and work with content and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm going to go to New to create a new item or a new menu item. And so now we have a couple of different menu items that we can create from here, or a couple different places. Like if I click on the menu, if I click on Home, you know, where is it going to take me? What kind of article or what kind of thing is it going to take me to? That's what I'm deciding here at this point. And so if I was going to create an article, which we're going to do when we create members only info, then we would link up to a single article. None of this other stuff you're ever going to use. It's really just the single article stuff.
And these aren't menu drop-downs. These are individual things to click on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Once we create your forms, like your subscriber form, if they click the main menu button, in this case, if we created that, if they clicked the main menu button and we linked to a form, it would take them directly to the form. So we can link them up directly to your event calendar if we wanted to do that. In this case, I want to link them to an external link because I'm linking between your site and the MemberClick site.
Okay. So in other words, you're working on our external site, and okay, all right.
So if I go to external link, I'm going to go back to yours, and I know that About Us is the first item that they can choose on your end. So I'm going to grab your link. I'm going to go back to the MemberClick side of things. I'm going to put the link in, and I'm going to title it the same thing that it's titled on your end. I'm going to leave top highlighted because that means it's going to, this menu bar item is going to show up at the top right next to the home.
Okay.
And you'll see it in just a second. We do have the option to publish this or not publish it. I want to go ahead and publish it. And then if I click this link, it can give me the option for it to open up in a new window. That I think is useful when you're going to a form so they can still navigate through the website while taking the form. But in this case, I just want it to pop up right where I was, like right in the same window. I'm going to set group access, and I'm going to save.
Okay, now I'm looking for where you're clicking. I still can't see your arrow, but I'm seeing things change.
I'm sorry. I'll go a little bit slower. We're going to go through that process a couple times. To show you what we see now, if I update this,
okay,
it's going to now have the About Us tab. See where that popped up next to Home?
Yep. And this is the simulation of what would be our member page, inside the public page.
Right. That's exactly right.
Okay.
So if they're on the MemberClick side of things, once this looks all pretty and my designers have this all fancied up, then it'll have the same menu options as your current site plus some members only info. So now if I click About Us, so like if I'm on the MemberClick side of things, I click About Us, it's going to redirect me back to your current site.
Okay. So we would use the process you're now showing me to edit the MailerClick side, right?
We're using this process, yes, to edit the MemberClick's menu side of things.
Okay, but the basic layout and the larger elements are things that you would be putting in place, and those we would not be able to change.
Like the template, overall template is not changeable. And that's about it. I mean, you can change anything else.
What I'm trying to figure out is if essentially you've got two sites that are sort of mirroring each other in a way.
Mm-hmm.
When we finish our site, and it has a different look, I'm wondering how much we can coordinate whatever that may be with whatever your site has.
Gotcha. Well, so are you still making changes to your existing site?
Well, I know that Michelle was not happy with how some of the elements are coming together. The big white bars on each side, and I noticed you had your social connections in a different place than they are here. So she's working in WordPress. That's why I didn't know how much we were going to freeze your side at the end of the day here compared to how she may still be changing what's on our side.
I see. So what I'm thinking is through the time that we have together, any edits that are made, we do have one, like after my designers put your design in place, right now I have them making it look as closely to your current site as possible. However, you do get one round of edits. So we can be together, through the rest of this implementation time, and right before you get ready to launch, any changes that you don't like, that maybe were changed on your current site, if we want to implement those changes into the MemberClick site, then we can just create those changes together and have my designers update the design.
Okay, so at some point, once we get ours settled to where she wants it to be, we can get back together and say, okay, here's yours, here's ours. Let's line them up so they match.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay.
Could you make sure that someplace along the line you put that in an email so I can forward it to her and I won't forget?
Yes. Do you want me to send you an email now?
No. Your memory's better than mine. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to just go through that process one more time to show you again how to set up, or I'm going to go through it a couple more times. I'm going to go ahead and create your menu up here at the top. So I can create submenus like Contact Us. In order to do that, I can just go to Contact Us, your Contact Us page. I can grab your link. So I'm going to create a new menu item. So I'm going to select New, just like I did before. So I have all of these choices again that I can choose from. Last time I chose External Link, and I want to do the same thing again. So that's under Other, External Link.
So we're on your side now, grabbing things off my side.
That's right.
Okay.
And we're doing that just, like I said, to create that. We're just doing it to create. We just want to mimic the menu bar that you have so that the two sites look almost the same. That way your subscribers, when they're working in there, if they move over to the MemberClick side of things, they're not like, whoa, where am I now? This is so different. It feels seamless.
It will be transparent.
Exactly. So at this point, if I want to create a submenu, like I know Contact Us is underneath About Us. So to create a submenu, I'm going to highlight About Us, and that's going to tell me that the Contact Us, this menu link that I'm creating is going to show up as a submenu of About Us.
Okay.
I'm going to set my group access again. So right now I don't have your member types in there. When we do, we can choose your members. Like when we create member-only info, your members will have access to see that, but we won't check prospect and public, which means that now it would be member-only info. But right now this is still just public.
Okay.
So I'm going to select Save. I'm going to go back to the MemberClick side of things. And I'm going to update this. And now we'll notice that underneath About Us is a submenu Contact Us. And once again, if I click this, it'll take me directly to your site.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll do that. I'm going to just go through that one more time with the external link, and then I'll finish your menu on my own. But I want to go ahead and show you one more time, and then I'll show you how to create an article and link the article to the menu item. So now I'm going to create our services. So once again, I'm going to go to our back end here. I'm still under Website, Menu Items, and I'm still making changes to the main menu. So I want to select Main Menu. I'm back into this area where I can create the menu items. I'm going to select New once again, which is all the way to the far right with all these icons.
Wait a minute, I got New. Where are you? The arrow's still not. Where's New?
It's at the very. So do you see all of the icons up here in the top right?
Yep, I see it.
It's the last one, yeah. So I can select New. I'm going to do, once again, just adding that external link, which is under Other.
Okay.
A separator is basically, it's just a placeholder. So a separator would be a menu item that's not clickable, but maybe has submenus that are clickable.
Okay.
So then the external link.
Oh, it's the title of a drop-down.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So, whoops. I wanted to grab our services. So I'm going to just once again grab my external link. I'm going to plug it into my link, and then I know that this is called Our Services. This time I don't want it to be a submenu. I want it to just pop up as the next menu item, so I'm going to leave top highlighted. Once again, I have to set my group access, and then I'm going to say save. And then it'll just add it. If I go back to my MemberClick side of things, I update.
How did you update?
I just refresh the page.
Fresh, okay.
Yeah. And now you see our services. So if I click our services, it'll take us directly to our services page.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So now, to get a little more complicated, right now we've just been adding external links to menu items. Now we want to create an article and add the article to a menu item. So that means that the content doesn't already exist. We're not pulling it from your external site or from your existing site. We're creating it new content in the MemberClick side of things. So
okay.
I'm going to select articles. These are some pre-made articles that we have in here for you. We don't want to delete these because they're used in a couple of different places on your site, and I'll show you where you'll find some of this. I'm going to select new because I want to create a new article or new content. So new is just one of these icons up here. And now this is where I'll create my content. So this is called our WYSIWYG editor, which stands for what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And we're going to use this editor in a couple of different places throughout the site. So it's important to be a little bit familiar with how to use this, but it's really similar to like Word document. There's just a couple of differences.
Yeah, it looks very similar.
Exactly. So in this case, this would be members only info. It's going to auto-create an alias. So an alias is just going to be part of your URL. So if we typed in mah.memberclicks.net / and then we pasted members-only, that would take us directly to this page.
Okay.
So now from here, we can add content for members only. We can do a couple of different things. So like we can bold it, italicize it, underline. A lot of these, change the alignment, same stuff that you see in Word. A couple of differences, this format. So when my designers get done with the design, they're going to have these headings in your colors that represent colors from your current logo.
Okay.
The reason that you want to use these pre-formatted fonts is, let's say that you come back to me and you say, Adrian, we wanted to make some changes. We changed the colors of our website. We need to update it in the MemberClick side of things.
Right.
I'll let my designers know. They'll change the colors, and if anywhere you used anything that was pre-formatted, so anywhere that you picked a format from this area here,
you redefine a style.
Say that again?
You're redefining a style.
Yeah, exactly. So if you, as long as you used a pre-formatted font here, then it's going to automatically update in the MemberClick side of things. So you don't have to go in and manually do it everywhere that you've added text to.
Okay. Okay.
If you get a little crazy and you start bolding things, you can change the font family, and you can change the font size, and you can change the font color in the background font. If you start messing around with those pieces, it's not going to update manually. So then you'd have to go into the site and update all of this stuff manually, which would be kind of a pain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know how that works. I write a newsletter, and I have prepackaged styles that I've built, and I know if I don't use them, I got to go in and do it manually. Oh yeah.
Perfect. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. There are a couple of differences between this and a Word document that a Word menu document that you might use. So to point out a couple of those differences, if you want to insert an image, you would just place your cursor wherever you want the image to come in at. And then you can access your images from your Media Manager. I'm going to show you how to upload things in your Media Manager in a second. But for now, to access your Media Manager, you would just come down to Image, and this is to insert an image.
Okay.
The Mini Media, did you see where I clicked?
I did.
Okay. This is a Mini Media Manager, and from here we can access any files that you've uploaded into MemberClicks. So in this case, I just went to just site, and I'm using just some of the generic items that we have in here, this will be your template or your logo.
Okay.
If I grab that logo and insert, that's going to come right in at where I've placed my cursor, but I can make a couple of additional changes.
Okay.
So if I click my image, you'll notice this little tree icon up here. Do you see my tree icon?
Where are you?
If you look at heading 1,
I see it. Yep, I see it.
Right under. Awesome. So this tree image now becomes available. If I click my tree image, it'll allow me to change some items with the appearance of the image. So I can go to Appearance, and now I can decide how I want the text to align with the image. So in this case, I want the text to align left, and this gives us a little example of how it'll look.
Okay.
We can have it align right, which means the image will be pushed right. You know, different options. We can have it come to the bottom. I always like to align it left.
Right. It's the same basic thing you've got in Word, but just a different. You know, it's the same idea but different mechanics.
Awesome. Perfect.
Yep.
We can change the dimensions of our image here if we know the exact dimensions we want. We always want to constrain proportions because this is going to auto-populate the second dimension that it needs to be, and keep the dimension. So if we uncheck this, it's going to like make our image kind of wonky and lose the proportions.
Okay, so it's like locking the ratio. Okay.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Next is vertical and horizontal space. We use these a lot, so this is going to create a cushion between the text and the image. So if I put 20 in here.
Yeah, this is all in pixels, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
Thank you. No, all I had to do was translate pixels into fractions of the business.
Got it. Most people, if they're familiar with Joomla, they understand this. But if they don't have any experience in Joomla, then they're like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" So you've got it.
It's the basic thing you have to do when you're doing Word. And I published the newsletter in Word. See, trust me, I've had a chance to explore all of its little nooks and crannies.
Absolutely, I bet. And we have a contact center too. I don't know if I've showed you that yet, but I'll show you where you can create a newsletter and stuff like that, and write out a MemberClicks and send it to anybody that's a member in MemberClicks, you know, straight from the program, which is really good. And you'll be using the same editor to create your newsletter.
Now, let me ask you this now. Since this seems to, well, can I just simply take an entire piece of text that let's say my newsletter, which has a logo and maybe graphics and charts and blah blah blah. Can I just cut and paste and drop it right into this, or is it going to blow up when I do that?
No, technically you can. I think copying and pasting the HTML would be cleaner, and you do have the option to do that. But you can just copy it all and paste it into any of these editors, and it'll work just fine.
Will a PDF behave?
You would have to save. You would have to save the. You can still copy and paste from a PDF.
Because if distribution is easier through this, and I took my Word document, made it into a PDF, and then took the whole PDF and dropped that in here, I'm wondering if that would work as a simpler way to distribute.
You can attach the PDF to a Word, to like an email, like if you wanted to send an email out. Like you can't send the PDF directly from the system, but you could create an email, hey, check out our latest newsletter, and you can attach the PDF.
Okay.
So from here I'm going to just select Update, and then Yes, and then that's just going to change the dimensions and add that cushion, all those fun things.
There you go.
A couple of other things to note is we can add, once again, like external links, and we can add internal links. So I want to show you how to do those two things. An external link, we would just highlight our text that we want to link, select our link, which is going to be, do you see the link item up here?
Yep.
Select our link, and then from here, like if you wanted to do a link from your current site for some reason, then we can add that link right in here and insert.
I could find any link.
Yeah, you can put absolutely any external link. And then for an internal link, Once again, this is going to take us to another like mini media manager. So in order to bring anything from an internal, like using something from MemberClicks, we'll come down to the bottom. And do you see at the bottom where it says Site Links?
Yep.
So we're going to choose this option. Now from here, any articles that we've created in MemberClicks, any community pieces, like forgot your password, event calendar, event list, forgot your username, my profile, any of these items we can link to. Any of your menu items we can directly link to. Any forms, any files, if you have any polls that you end up creating, or like a directory search, we can link to any of these items in here. So in this case, I'm just going to link to the event calendar.
Okay.
So the last thing that is just really fun, that I think is really cool, is anytime you link text, so like in this case I have text, I linked it up to an internal link, and then I come back up to my pre-formatted fonts. If I select heading 6, aw man, I'll show you. It's not going to do it because my designers haven't done the special stuff they need to do. I got so excited about that, and I couldn't even. Okay, I'm going to show you.
To show me, right? And then
I know, like that's my favorite part. I was like working some magic there, and it failed me. Goodness. I'll show you on the MemberClick side of things because it will do it. So what we can do is do the internal link. Hey. Okay. Test 25. We can add the adding internal link, whatever text you want to link up. We're going to grab it. We're going to select our link. It can be an external or internal link. It doesn't matter. As long as it's linked up, we can grab any item. Now, going into our formatted, you'll have this option to choose heading 6, and it'll create a button.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
So yours will do that as well. Once my designers do their thing. And so we'll be able to add maybe like buttons if you want to do that anywhere on your site.
Okay. Ooh, nice. I like that. And I'm sure there's a way to position it. So if I have so you can put it at the top or the bottom or at the end of a paragraph or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You can't drag it, but you would just put the text at the bottom or wherever you want the button to appear. And then you do the same process then.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right. So now I can once again select group access, so you can select who can see what we create at the article level and at the menu level.
Okay.
I've selected my group access. I'm going to save, and now I want to link it up to my menu, because right now it's just an article in the system. It's not linked anywhere. So we can't access it. So now I'm going to go back to website, back to menu items. Once again, I want it to show up at the main menu, so I'm going to select main menu. Do you remember what I do next?
You select article, the first one.
Almost. First, I have to select.
You check the little box next to home.
No, first I have to select new because I'm creating a new menu item, right?
Okay.
Now.
Oh, there we go. Article content. And you want a single article, and then you're going to go find, which I assume it's going to tell you. So you have to remember the name of your article.
Well, but I always name my article the same thing. I'm going to name it on the menu item.
Is it okay.
So what we're going to do is select, at this point in time, we're going to select the article we want to link up. So if you don't remember the name, it's okay.
It's the one, okay, so you just went over there on the right-hand side where it says parameters basic select article.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I chose select, and now I'm going to select the article that I want.
Okay. There you go. All right, members only. Okay, you pick that. It goes in there.
Now what I'm typing in here is going to be the name of the menu item, and I always just name the article and the menu item the same thing. You don't have to, but it cuts down on confusion to me.
Okay.
Do you remember?
Website address.
Say that again?
The alias is just part of the URL.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Okay.
And I want this to show up at the top as just like another menu item, not a submenu or tertiary, just a regular menu item. So I'm going to leave it top highlighted.
Okay.
I'm going to choose my group access. Now this is members only, so members and admin are the only two that get to see this.
Okay.
And then I'm going to select save.
Yeah,
Now
okay, now.
I
Saved.
go, yep, and I'm going to refresh my page for the updates to change. And we have members only. And if I select this tab, it's going to take us to that article that we created.
Oh, cool. Okay. It's all logical. It's just a matter of remembering the sequence of steps.
Absolutely. And I'm going to create this, hopefully, I mean, with our time together, I'm going to create the menu items, and I'm going to create like any maybe member-only content that you have. So
Now,
hopefully,
is there any little user's guide that tells you to do this? Follow step 1, step 2, step 3.
we do have some resources that I can send you that can take you through some of those steps and hopefully cut down a little bit.
Because eventually I'm going to have to try to do something, and I won't remember how we did it. But you know, like I don't remember where I came from an hour ago. So that's what I need.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll send you some resources and I'll show you where you can find some. But also, like if you've already graduated and it's like months and months from now, and you're with, you know, you still have the help team, and those guys know exactly how to do this stuff too.
Okay. Yeah, because some of these things you do once every 2 months. You don't remember how to do it after 2 months.
Right, exactly. I definitely understand that.
Now, can you go back to the page, I guess it was the one before this, where you were putting things in sequence, and did you want to go to top, or which menu do you want to put it in, or a sub-menu, and you went over to the right-hand side. And I think it was the website, front page, menu items?
We haven't been to front page. We've only been to articles and menu items. And then we select main menu.
Okay.
And now this is where we would say new, because we want to create a new menu item. So if we want to create, if we're like, oh, we need to create another menu item in here, we would select new.
Okay.
And then this past time, we added an article. So I chose article content.
Right.
It's not a blog, it's not a blog, it's not a list layout, it's not archived. It's a single article that we wanted to add.
Okay. Because there was, okay, this is the page. All right. Now, what I was going to ask you is at the third thing, the drop-down, display in, you got little up and down arrows next to word main menu. I was wondering what else that would do.
Say, where do you see that again? Oh, this here, display.
There you go. So, oh, okay, main menu, header menu. Oh, I see. Okay.
So if we chose
and then at the bottom, you have on click open in. I'm trying to figure out what that's all about. Oh, just new window, or I see. Okay.
Exactly. So this would allow us to, like, if I wanted to link an article in a new window, then when I click it, it's going to open in a new window instead of the same window that I'm already in.
Okay.
Do you want me to show you what that looks like?
No, I just want to make sure that, so that's an instruction to what happens when the user does something.
Exactly.
Okay. And then change type up there next to group access. That's if you want to change it from being an article to something else.
Yeah, so like let's say we got to this far and then you're like, oh crud, it's not an article, I just need to do an external link. I can just go back to change type and it'll take me right back here.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And now you can be like, oh yeah, I meant to add an external link. And then you can go to your site, we can go to Mailers Hub News. We can grab our link, we can come back we're like, okay, cool, Mailers Hub News, we're going to add the external link. And then we can group access, decide that. We're going to leave this at the top. We're going to save. And then we just added another external link. Now, if you come back to the menu items and you're like, hey, I wanted this Mailers Hub News to come before members only, then we can control where the menu items are listed by these arrows.
Down arrow. Okay.
Right. So after we select that now, Mailers Hub News will come before members only.
Okay. I'm thinking back at one point in our association we had to post things to our website ourselves. And some of this navigation looks familiar. I'm sure it's like 12 generations ago, but
maybe a little's coming back.
Yeah, well, just enough to confuse me.
Oh no, I don't want want that to happen.
Easily done. Don't feel bad.
There's a couple of other things that I wanted to show you where they're located, and we'll go over it again. But remember when I talked about your media manager?
Uh-huh.
So this is how we get to your media manager. It's all under website. So when your site's completed from My Designers, all of your info, like your logo and all that, is going to be under this Site tab. But you can also upload documents, images. If you have a slideshow, which you're not going to have a slideshow, but if you did, we could add in slideshow images. You'll just be basically using probably docs and images.
Okay.
So like that PDF you were talking about, you would just go to your docs area. We could create a new folder called, newsletter. We can create this new folder. Now we're in that folder. Now we're in the folder. And then if you wanted to add the PDF, you would just select upload down here at the bottom.
Okay.
Find that PDF from your computer.
And just upload it. Boom.
Yeah, so like if I wanted to choose this, then I would just hit open, and then I can hit upload.
Now where would this be? Right on the front page, on the home page?
This is going to be this media. Do you mean where this file will show up, or how do I get to this media manager?
Where will the file show up? Where am I putting it on the site?
So here's the file. There's a couple of different ways we can access the file now. So like when we created the article,
right?
If I went back and we were like, oh, I meant to add in my members only, I meant to add that file, I can go to members only, and we can say,
okay, I
view
see.
our latest newsletter.
Okay.
We can.
And then link internally.
That's right. You got it. And then we could find it by going to Files. Looks like we don't have anything, but if I go under Documents, Newsletters, there's that file we created together.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There's what we, that would be your PDF, and we can insert.
Okay. Boom. There it is.
Yeah. So now, if I save this and I go back, we'll notice it's going to pop up, and this is just a form that I had on my computer, but boom, now it's downloaded down here, and I can open it up.
There it is. Okay. All right. And if I wanted to have this on the home page, I would just go at a previous screen there, which I would take 10 minutes finding. When you go to website, home page, front page.
So the home page is going to be a little different. The home page is not made of articles because it's responsive. So instead, it's made of widgets. That's a little confusing.
That's okay. In other words, you put it would be represented by an icon.
Yes, that's exactly right. So instead, if I want to make edits to my home page, I'm going to come down here to widgets.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a couple of different areas. Yours is going to look a little different once My Designers are done, updating your specific. It's going to look a little different. However, right now, like homepage main, this will be the same that your template will have.
Uh-huh.
So homepage main is if we're on the home page. This is the homepage main text.
Okay. So if I wanted to put an icon labeled latest newsletter on here, like right up there at the top next to member logout, I could do that?
No, you can't do that actually.
Where can I put it?
The icon, you can add the icon. I see what you're saying, like a little picture of like a newsletter that people can click on.
Yeah, just some kind of something to click on this icon. People will know what it means, and it'll go right to the newsletter.
In that case, you'll probably have to build it out in either an article or one of these widgets. So your homepage will be comprised of this main body of text, and then notice down here where there are 3 separate areas. Yours will actually only have 2.
Okay.
So what we could do, you would have to put that icon in, like I said, either like an article, like in the members only. You could either add the icon up here, somewhere on this in the article, or somewhere within the widget. So it could be like somewhere in this body of text or in one of these 2 bodies of text.
Okay. Now how come we're going to get 2 when you got 3?
It's just a template that I told them to choose. Now they may make 3 because I told them to make it as closely to yours as possible. I think it's taking them a little bit longer because hopefully they're doing some custom stuff for me. Typically we don't do that, but I like to try to make it match the existing site as much as possible. So I asked if they could. So since yours has 3 areas, like I noticed on your home page, there are the 3 different areas. They may create that for us.
Okay.
I see what you mean because you have these icons, right?
Well, I think right now, for example, the 2017 rate file in that gray box, that one, if you click there, it goes to something. So what I was trying to figure out if there's some way to have a similar thing. I guess I'm answering my own question as I talk through this, because what you did earlier when you made that little green box you made, it's the same thing. So I guess I don't need to have you go through all these gyrations. We get the same place a different way.
Yeah.
I just thought I had people to go to critical things quickly with as few clicks as possible.
That makes complete sense. So yeah, just like when we created, and I'm using my MemberClick site to show you, because we can create a button just like these here, like read more. You can like put a couple highlights maybe from your last newsletter, and then you can say read more or see the full newsletter here, and then we can link the button to the newsletter.
Now, is there a limit on how many of those little green buttons you can put in?
No, there's not.
Or is that size fixed, or is it variable?
It'll change depending on we cannot customize the size unless I ask my designers to. If we added the button in up here, like in the main body of text where it says welcome, it's going to be the full size. But since these widgets are designed to be a little bit smaller, it'll fit to size for these particular widgets.
Okay. Can you just simply put a URL, a link at the end? Like, see that first paragraph. Let's say it has 4 little phrases instead of 2 paragraphs. If I wanted to have each phrase represent the start of an article, and allow a link from that end of that phrase to an article, it'll be an internal link. Could I just simply have a click here and have that blue and underlined as it is at the top of your page there?
Absolutely.
Up there it says Oshibus Dolor up toward the top. Could you just simply put that into a paragraph?
Yeah.
All right, that may serve the same purpose then. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
I'm getting you all off track here today. I'm just.
Questions are perfect. Ask as many questions as you have, please, because that's going to be, it helps me answer some things that I don't always think of. We have so there's a couple of other widgets in the system. I'm going to use the MemberClick site to show you where they are, because I think it'll make a little bit more sense.
Okay.
So, for example, give me just a second. I want to go ahead and bring this up, because this is a completed design, so yours will look more similar to this. So if I go to widgets, I'm under website, I'm going to widgets. We have member landing, my name is. So this is going to be that name tag that we saw, how we can data merge the info that we want to merge into the name tag. We can do that here in this widget.
Okay.
And that's when we went to the member landing page. So that's what your members will see after they log in. You'll notice we have the homepage right, homepage main, and homepage left. Those are the next 3 widgets. If I go back to the MemberClick site, we have homepage main. So that's this body of text that I'm highlighting here.
Okay.
Homepage left, which is this body of text just here.
Okay.
And then homepage right, which is this body of text here. So if we wanted to update any of these 3 pieces of info, I would just go to like homepage right. And that's going to show me the text and the button. And then we can just update what we wanted to say from here.
Gotcha. Okay.
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 We have featured content. I'm not 100% that you'll have featured content. I don't think you will. But in this case, the featured content is this text that comes across the hero image.
Oh, okay. What do you call it? The hero image?
Yeah, we call it, or like a static image, hero image.
Okay, I can't figure out where hero came from. Static I can figure out.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from either. But I don't think that we'll create this for you since your existing site doesn't have it.
Salt Lake City either, is it? Is that like Salt Lake City?
It probably is because that's just where we had our most recent conference.
Really? How
Yeah.
was it?
I didn't get to go, but I heard it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Just our sales team gets to go generally to those, and like the marketing team goes to those. But they said that was beautiful.
Piece. I know how that goes. Yeah.
I had some grant.
Yeah, we're going to spend the money. You stay home and do the work.
Yeah, exactly. I had some grandparents that lived in Salt Lake a few years ago, though, and we used to go out there, and it was always beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Yes. This footer info is going to be just down here at the bottom.
Okay.
Now we have custom page login, lower half and top half. So that's a little bit trickier. This is going to be like if I log out and then I log back in, and it's going to prompt me to log in with this screen here. So that's going to be any info that you want to add above the login area or below the login area.
Where are you talking about? Announcements on that side or where?
No, and it's probably logged out. So this custom login page content lower half and custom login page content top half. Top half is going to be what will appear above where it prompts you to put in your username.
Oh, up in that gray bar up there.
It wouldn't be in the gray bar. It would just be like additional white space.
Okay.
So, I'll show you an example. Because it's kind of tricky. So if I go to widget and I go to content top half, so I can add information that would appear in above the login section. And then I can save, and then I can do, whoops, that's top half. Let me save that. And then the lower half, information that would appear below. Yeah. And so then if I come back and I update this, information that would appear above the login section.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, information that would appear below the login section.
Okay.
Usually people leave this alone, but I think it's a great place to advertise like an event that's coming up or maybe a special offer that you're offering to your subscribers.
Gotcha. Okay. And the elements of that login page are static. Those are part of the. I can't fiddle with that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
So if I want to put something above or below, I gotta plan my location based upon moving around what's there.
Right. It's only going to be it would only be able to appear up here, like just above the login section, or like I said, right down here below it.
Right. But placement left or right, up or down, I'd have to figure in spaces, and lines to make it move, to make it sit where I want it to sit.
Yeah.
But that's all right. Okay.
But hopefully, like being able to come in here and like I could have like centered it and saved it, and then that's gonna it'll center it now instead of having it to the far left.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Awesome. And then the last widget, and I think I did ask my designers to add an announcement area for you. If not, we can always add it. But in this case, there's an announcements area, and that's just this here. You saw that earlier.
Right. Okay.
And that's how we would upload or update that information.
Now, how about the upcoming events and our sponsors?
So these are some different additional modules that we can add to your website, and I don't think I'm thinking that I did not ask them to add any because your current site didn't have anything like that. But if you did want to use like our sponsors, so if you have any sponsors and you need to show off their logos, or if you have any upcoming events and want to use our event calendar, or if you did want to add the announcements, we also have some other things that we can like feature, like I'll show you another example of a site that I dealt with was Tachi had a few, I think. So they had, this was like their announcements, but they changed this to a donations bar instead, and they added a button.
Okay.
Here's their announcements section, and they added a button.
Okay.
They have this.
We're working on getting sponsorships, and we will have events to feature, so that might be something useful to have. We don't have it on the home page yet. That's true.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely add these in. This would be for the upcoming events, so it'll show, we can decide like how many upcoming events we want it to show. We can say 1 or 3 or 5, and it'll color code them, because in our event calendar we can actually, and I'm going to show you how we'll use our event calendar probably on our next training, but you can color code the different events that are coming up by category. Like if these are conferences, then they'll be green. If they're you know, just social events, they can be blue. So then it would be color coded on the front end here, and then we could just go to view full calendar, and this would take us to your calendar.
Okay.
If we wanted to view information on the calendar, then we could just select the event that we wanted to view, and it would take us to information about that event.
Okay. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, I like that.
They did a good job with this. This looks good.
There's an I'm always fascinated how many associations there are. This is the Texas Association of Chicanos in Higher Education.
There is an association for everything.
Because I used to live in Alexandria, Virginia, and that's association ground zero, and it's amazing how many associations there are.
Really, I mean, coming into this business, I didn't know there was such a need. I didn't even know there was such a need for something like this.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you know, before you have a job, it's hard to sometimes even know that it would exist. But coming in here and seeing that the need for it has been really cool. And I mean, are currently working with about 1,600 different associations, and that's just kind of increasing every day. So
I know one of our good friends, colleague associations where I've known people for years is Postcom, Association for Postal Commerce. In fact, they were tenants in our offices for a while. And I know they did their website over, and now they're using MemberClicks. And because when I go to their web, the icon that shows up next to their name is yours.
Yeah. We can change that icon. It's like an additional fee, I think, to change it, but we are able to change it if we need to. But yeah, there's a lot. I'm trying to think of some.
I can over there and ask her how to do something if I get stuck, because she does their website.
Oh, very cool. I'm thinking, I'm working with a lot of manufacturing companies right now, which has been interesting. Because then you also learn about a whole different trade too. Like, you know, like I'm working with a Stone Sand and Gravel Association, and I'm learning all about stone, sand, and gravel, which has been a lot of fun. I've had fun. I love learning new things. So.
Oh, cool. You can go there and go to the hardware store and point out all kinds of things in the garden section that people don't know.
That's right.
That's number 600 over there.
That's exactly right. So some of the other widgets or modules that you can choose from, for them, this is their sponsor. They have a big Twitter and Facebook feed, so we can add, if you have a Facebook or Twitter feed, we can add it, and it'll scroll through previous posts from your site, which is cool.
Okay. Neat.
Yeah, and you can view their Twitter page. You can also, and I guess we changed it, but I'm pretty sure you can follow them directly from, like you can like them. I think there's a way you can follow them directly from this page. Here, I know it's for their Facebook. They moved where their Facebook module shows up, but you can like their Facebook page directly from the module that we put on your website if you wanted to add that.
Wow.
And then they just have another little area down here. It's kind of like announcements, but they made it a resource center. So there are some custom modules in here and then they just added some buttons. So a lot
Now,
of.
did they do it themselves?
Say that again?
Did they do all of this themselves, or did they have you do it?
I did it.
Or can they do it themselves, or they did it?
I did most of the stuff for them. They did create a lot of these pages themselves because they didn't purchase content with us. So we set the background, this gray color that's the background, and we set all of the colors. So the colors for their menu bars, their colors, this black back here. I mean, they requested what it looked like, and then my designers just did it for them. But we created this like slideshow up here of images. Now they can update the images that slide across this area here, and they can update any information, any content that you see. They have the ability to update any of this.
Okay.
They can't, something that you can't do is you can't get rid of these two columns. This is something that they're stuck with. But they didn't, they liked it like this. And then they can't change, they can change the content like in the Resource Center or the content, under this area here. But other than that, and they can, change the image that pops up for the sponsor. But other than that, everything else is stationary.
Okay, but the basic framework is what you did, and they fill in the blanks.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
And I did a little bit of content for them, but they had somebody specifically who, they're institutional based, and with the institution they had somebody specifically who I think was like going to school for something with computers, so she was able to do all of this for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really helpful for them. So they did a great job. It looks really good. I thought they did a good job. So yeah, so I think that just about covers, and this is one of their forms. So once we create forms, you'll notice how like contact us, once I clicked that menu item, it took us directly to their contact us form. So we'll be able to do that for and it'll look basically just like this, but we'll pull in the fields of information that we want to collect from your subscribers.
Okay.
So we can make something that looks similar to this. Yeah, so other than that, I think we've covered just about everything with content today. Do you have any leftover questions for me?
I'm sure I could be on this for 6 hours, but that's what you got. After 6 hours, I'll forget what I talked about the first hour. So
that's the tough part. I did a 3-hour training with a group who wanted me to come to their office one day, and I felt awful because after we got past the first 2 hours, I think retaining the information just kind of becomes difficult. But
that's it. So, but I'm glad we're recording these because that way I can go back over and listen to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do have some additional resources I can send. We just changed our resource center, and I think that all of the links that I would use to send out to all of the people I worked with, I think they're now dull. I think they don't work. So I'll have to kind of re-grab those links again. But if you have any questions on anything specific, if I can't explain it, or if I have a video or article that explains it better than maybe what I think I can, just let me know and I'll send something to you.
Okay. All right. Great. Because I'm sure along the line I'll try to do something and go, well, how did they do that again? And it'll come up.
Absolutely. And once your design's done, I'm going to send you. I hope it's done in the next couple of days, but I'll send you a email just saying like, hey, you can review your completed design at this website, and then you can go there, and then if you start to see any edits, you can let me know, and either I can collect them for you, and then we can send them all at once right before you get ready to launch, or I can go ahead and send them. And but I know that we'll probably want to wait since you might be making some changes to your existing site on y'all's end.
Right. If we're going to have one chance to go through and do some changes, I want to make sure that we get all of our ducks in a row on our side first.
Gotcha. That sounds perfect. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and convert my video into